Welcome to Club Libertas, the private membership club for the modern mystic. Most people can barely think past today. They live for immediate gratification, chasing the next dopamine hit, the next comfort, the next distraction. They make decisions based on what feels good now, rather than what will serve them in 10, 20, or 50 years. And that is why they remain weak, lost, and forgotten. Because the men who rise, the men who build empires, forge legacies, and reshape the world, they do not think in days or months. They think in decades and centuries. The 100-year mentality is the mindset of visionaries, conquerors, and immortals. It is the mindset of the few. The men who refuse to be short-sighted, the men who do not settle for quick rewards, the men who play the long game while the rest of the world plays checkers. Most people cannot fathom thinking beyond the next weekend. But you are not most people. And if you truly want to conquer the future, you must think beyond your lifetime. Element 1. Why most people never build anything that lasts. Most men live and die without leaving a mark. They waste their years chasing fleeting pleasure, empty validation, and short-term wins. They make weak decisions based on temporary emotions. They refuse to suffer for something greater. And that is why they never build anything that outlives them. They spend instead of invest. They quit when results don't come fast. They chase what is easy instead of what is meaningful. They live for approval instead of purpose, because they are short-sighted, and short-sighted men are replaceable. The 100-year mentality separates the powerful from the forgettable. It is the mindset of builders, kings, and dominators. The weak live for now. The strong build for forever. The world does not remember the men who chased comfort. It remembers the men who sacrificed for something greater. And if you do not shift your mindset, you will be like the millions of others who lived and died as nothing. Element 2. The 100-year mentality explained. The 100-year mentality is simple. Every decision you make should serve your future self, your legacy, and your bloodline. You do not act based on what feels good today. You act based on what will make you strong, respected, and unstoppable decades from now. Think of the greatest names in history. They did not build empires overnight. They made moves no one understood at the time. They sacrificed temporary comfort for permanent dominance. This is how the elite operate. They do not react, they calculate. They do not chase fast rewards, they engineer long-term victory. They move with patience, precision, and power, because they know a man who thinks ahead is a man who always wins. Element 3. The power of delayed gratification. The average man is weak because he cannot delay gratification. He wants everything now. He will never build wealth because he spends money on meaningless distractions. He will never achieve mastery because he gives up the moment progress slows. He will never become a king in his own right because he is ruled by impulse. But the man who embraces delayed gratification, he becomes unbeatable. He saves and invests while others waste their wealth. He trains and studies while others seek pleasure. He works in silence while others demand recognition. And one day, when the weak realize they have wasted their years, he will stand above them all, because his patience has paid off, because his long-term vision has built something that will last forever. You can either live for the moment or build for the future. And the men who choose the future are the men who command the present. Element 4. Thinking in decades, not days. If you are serious about winning, you must change the way you measure time. Most men live day to day, chasing temporary highs. The elite think in decades. A decade of discipline will build you a body that most men could never dream of. A decade of focused work will make you financially untouchable. A decade of developing your mind will turn you into a leader, a warrior, a king. Most men fail because they are too impatient. They give up before they see the reward. They abandon the process too soon. And that is why they remain average. But you must commit to the long game. Think not in days or months, think in decades, because everything great takes time. And the men who understand this, they become legends. Element 5. How to build a legacy that will outlive you. The 100-year mentality is not just about personal success. It is about building something that will last beyond your lifetime. Weak men think only of themselves. The strong think about what they will leave behind. What will your name mean when you are gone? Will your bloodline be stronger because of your actions? Will the world remember what you built? A man who lives only for himself dies with nothing. A man who builds something greater lives forever. This is why you must think ahead. Everything you do, your work, your relationships, your habits, your decisions, should be made with your legacy in mind. The weak vanish. The builders, the warriors, the visionaries. They are never forgotten. The world is full of men who think small, act small, and die small. They chase the quick win. They live without vision. They remain trapped in the present, never thinking beyond their next distraction. And that is why they fade into nothing. But you are different, because you understand that the real game is played in the long term, because you see what most men never will. That power, success, and dominance do not belong to the impatient. They belong to the men who are willing to wait, who are willing to sacrifice now for greatness later, who are willing to move with vision, strategy, and discipline. So, ask yourself, are you thinking in days, or are you thinking in decades? Are you chasing temporary pleasure, or are you building something that will last forever? Because one day, your time will run out. And when that day comes, will you be just another forgotten name, or will the world remember what you built? Master the long game. Conquer the future, and your name will live forever.